little bit about Hanukkah. So I'm really, really happy that you're all here. Does anyone know when Hanukkah starts this year? In the morning or at night?
At night.
At night. So Hanukkah is on the same day every year, just people don't realize it. It's on the 25th of Kislev, of the Hebrew month Kislev. So it's always on the 25th of Kislev. It's just that the Jewish calendar is lunar, and what we would call the secular calendar is solar. That's why they don't line up, only every so many years.
They line up together.
I just read it, I forgot, was it 23 years or 24 years, something like that, it lines up. This is one of those years. But yeah. I'm sorry?
Mine
Oh,
is
it's the
always
next
the
day.
26th.
Oh, is it? Okay, okay.
Always
Oh, that's
the
nice. So it's
yeah.
what's on the secular, or on the solar
Yeah.
calendar.
Well,
Nice.
it's the second, it's the
Yeah.
always the
26.
26th. Yeah.
Nice. That would make things easier.
Yeah.
So we'll sing this once or twice through, and join us when you can. But it starts with la 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 la. Am I awake? Am I prepared? Are you listening to my prayer? Can you hear my voice? Can you understand? Am I awake? Am I prepared? Let's do it again. La 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 la. We'll say Shabbat Shalom to all of you. I tell you a little story about this particular song. It was written by Noah Anderson. Anyone know? So he started out in rabbinical school with me, and he soon realized that his real gifts were more in music, and he transferred over to become a cantor. And he made the right decision. He's written so many beautiful songs. It's just one of the little ones that he wrote. So sometimes you start on a certain path, and then you end up getting over to the right path. It definitely happened to him. So welcome everybody to Shabbat. We're also going to be talking a little bit about Hanukkah. Let's begin with Hine Matov on page 1. The beautiful song that reminds us that we all are brothers and sisters, and we all are one. Tohu manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine tohu manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov, shevet achim gam yachad. Does anybody remember, or does anyone know which word means one, or which word means unity? It's the last one. What's the last word? Yachad. So I'm gonna, today as we go through the service, keep listening for that word. You're gonna hear it in a lot of the prayers. It's one of the foundational truths or beliefs of Judaism, that we are all one. It's hard to keep that in your mind, isn't it? When you go around the world and we see all of the stuff going on. For me anyway, I'm not gonna get political, but this just seems like such a dark time. Not only with the sun, the way the sunlight is coming, but it just seems like it's a dark time. And Hanukkah reminds us that in the midst of the darkness, there is always what?
Light.
There's always light. And that we are to be that light. Okay, let's continue with, what do you think about the Sabbath prayer on page 3? It's so beautiful.
May the Lord protect
And defend you. May He always shield you from shame. May you come to be in Israel a us from the stranger's ways. May God bless you and grant you long life. May the Lord you good husbands and wives. May the Lord protect and defend you. May He always shield you from shame. Favor us, O Lord, with happiness and peace. Oh, hear our Sabbath prayer. Amen. I'm not sure if just me, but everything just sounds so beautiful tonight. All of your voices. Must be the holiday Christmas / Hanukkah spirit. We're going to now light the Shabbat candles. So how many Shabbat candles are there? 2 Shabbat candles. Because in the 10 Commandments, we are told that we must remember the Shabbat and we must keep it holy. So tonight, we're going to light the Shabbat candles. Would you light the Shabbat candles for me? And then we'll do the prayers.
That one?
Sure. Just push down on it.
There.
There we go.
Oh, hard.
There we go.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yes.
I didn't know how to
Beautiful
do it.
Shabbat candles. Once the Shabbat candles are lit, traditionally speaking, Shabbat has started. No more work, no more worrying, no more strife. We just focus on being, right? Being together and being one. So join with me with the beautiful chanting of the bracha, the blessing for the Shabbat candles. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. And it would be tradition to look at the people around you and say Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom, which means that you have a Shabbat of peace, of wholeness, of unity. What a beautiful prayer. Let's continue with a meditation on page 7. So we began with the beautiful nigun, asking if we're awake, and not physically, but are we awake spiritually? Are we ready to let God speak to us? God speaks to us through the words, through the music, through each other, right? Through nature. Has God spoken to you this week? Sometimes when I ask the question, people think I'm crazy, but I don't think so. I think God speaks to us all the time if we only have our eyes, our spiritual eyes open, and our ears ready to hear. I have a beautiful little dog. I'm very connected with him. His name is Boaz. Actually, it's actually my name, right? I go by Daniel, but my name is really Boaz Daniel. So I named Boaz after me, and I really think that Boaz has taught me to be a kinder and more a nicer person. I think animals can do that. So one way that God spoke to me this week was through my dog, Boaz. Anybody else have any experiences this week where maybe God has spoken to you? Maybe someone gave you a smile, said a nice word. You looked out and saw the beautiful moon. Well, think about that as we go into this beautiful meditation. If you're comfortable, I ask you to close your eyes. Take a deep breath in with me and breathe in. Breathe in love. Breathe in light. Breathe in hope. Breathe in family and connection. Breathe in all the beautiful things about the holidays, the Christmas trees, and the lights, and the beautiful music, the meaning of Hanukkah. Breathe it all in. And exhale worry and strife and concern and discord. And remember that we are one. Tonight Christmas or next week. I give thanks for this moment of prayer and meditation, for in it I can feel the divine presence draw near. May I be grateful for the goodness that every morning brings. No day passes without its wonders, tokens of the love that surrounds me. When I open my eyes, may I find beauty and joy before me. And when I listen, may I hear a voice challenging me to climb upward to a higher place of awareness and understanding. I give thanks for the blessings around me. I know they await me. May I be able to embrace them. Sing with me the beautiful, beautiful meditative prayer, Eli, Eli, which means my God, my God. Eli, Shelo Yigamer Leolam, Hachol ve'hayam, Rishhu shel hamayim, Berach hashamayim, Tfilat ha'adam, Hachol ve'hayam, Rishhu shel hamayim, Berach hashamayim, Tfilat ha'adam. Now in English. Oh Lord, my God, I pray that these things never end. The sand and the sea, the rush of the water, the crash of the heavens, the prayer of the heart, the sand and the sea, the rush of the waters, the crash of the heavens, the prayer of the heart. So whatever the prayer of your heart is this evening, it's our prayer that you will say that prayer to the one who hears all prayers, that you will know that your prayer has been heard. Say together, Amen. Let's continue with the Baruch Hu. It's on page 8. It's our call to worship. If you're able physically to rise, please rise with me. We're going to face the east. We're going to face the mountain. We're going to face where the temple once stood. If you can't rise physically, then just rise spiritually. Excellent. It's our call to worship. Baruch et Adonai Hamvarach, Baruch Adonai Barach Me'olam Va'ed, Baruch Adonai Barach Me'olam Va'ed. Read with me. Praise the Lord, source of all blessing. Praise be the Lord, source of all blessing, now and forever. Forever. Please be seated. And continue reading with me.
I'll be
English on page 8.
Right.
Praised are you, Lord our God,
Would you be able to
ruler
hold
of the universe,
the seventh floor?
whose word
Susie's got to go
day
listen to
becomes
this.
night. With wisdom you open the gates of heaven. With understanding you regulate times and seasons. The stars keep their watch according to your will. You create day and night, alternating light and darkness, removing day and bringing on the night, separating each from the other. You are called Lord of the heavenly hosts, ever-living God, rule over us forever. Praised are you, Lord, who brings on the evening twilight. Baruch atah Adonai ha'ma'ariv ha'rabim. This morning I read a beautiful, beautiful meditation about Christmas Day, the first day of Hanukkah. It's also the shortest day of the year. And the meditation was so beautiful. It said that we are to remind ourselves on the shortest day of the year that there is a cycle, that wherever there is darkness, it will then turn to light. And even in the midst of the darkest day, we know that tomorrow, the next day, it will be just a little bit more light. And every day will bring more and more light. And that reminds me of the Hanukkah candles, right? On the first night of Hanukkah, how many candles do we light? One, right? On the second night, we light 2. So by the end of Hanukkah, all 8 are aflame. Has anyone ever, if you grew up probably Jewish, you've seen this, but everyone brings their Hanukkah to the synagogue on the last night, family Hanukkah, and they light them all. There might be 50 or 75 or 100 all at one time, and they turn the lights out, and it's just beautiful, and the kids always make a really beautiful sound. And of course, the kids get candy. It's really fun. But just like the Christmas tree, right? The Christmas tree, that one, oh yeah, sure, all kinds of lights on it, aren't there? Yeah, very, very beautiful. So let's continue with the Shema. Now, what was that word for unity again? One of the central concepts of Judaism. Anybody remember the Hebrew word? Echad, echad. See if you hear that word in our central prayer. The Shema on page 9. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Baruch Shem Kevod Malachuto Leolam Va'ed. Read with me in English. Hear, O Israel, the Lord is our God, the Lord is one. Blessed is his glorious kingdom now and forever. So at a Jewish wedding, there are blessings that are given and blessings of welcoming. The first blessing is Bruchim Habaim Bashem Adonai. Bruchim Habaim Shekol Ha'anashim Echad. May you be welcomed in the name of the one. And may you know, because what's going to happen, right, in this beautiful wedding ceremony, that we are all one. I think what a beautiful way to start a wedding ceremony. And also what a beautiful way to start anything, right? To remember that we are one. Let's continue with the beautiful Ve'ahavta that reminds us that we are to love the Lord with all our mind, with all our strength, and with all our being. Read with me. I'll do the Hebrew. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha. Love the Lord your God. Read with me. With all your mind, with all your strength, and with all your being. These words which I command you this day shall be in your heart. You shall teach them diligently to your children, repeating them at home and away from home, when you lie down and when you arise. Bind them for a sign upon your hand, and make them a symbol for between your eyes. Write them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates. Remember and do all my commandments, and be holy to your God. I am the Lord your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt to be your God. I am the Lord your God. Go back with me. Do you see the first, second, third, fourth line where it says, shall be in your heart? I just was at a class not too long ago, and the teacher, Rabbi Shochet, was pointing out this is a mistranslation. In Hebrew, it doesn't say be in your heart. It says to be on your heart. And then he goes and explains that in the Talmud, which is a rabbinical text, it says, why would the Hebrew say on your heart and not in your heart? And here's what the rabbis say of the Second Temple period. They say it's because the words of God, the love of God is resting on your heart until that moment when your heart breaks and you need those words. And at that moment, the words go from on your heart to into your heart. And they're always with you, and at the right time, when you need it, maybe you're going through a difficult time, that's when the words that are on your heart fall into your heart. thought it was a really beautiful drash, a really beautiful interpretation. Just found it really powerful. I thought a lot about this. So sometimes we need those words, right, to fall into our heart, and a reminder that sometimes, as Leonard Cohen says in his beautiful song, The Hallelujah, how does the light get in? It gets in through the cracks. So how does God's word sometimes get into us? It's when we go through something difficult, and our heart is cracked open, and the words fall in. That was a beautiful teaching. So we're going to do a different Mi Chamocha tonight. So remember this sheet I gave you that said, Am I awake? Okay, right after that is the Mi Chamocha, and it starts on the first page, and then you have to flip it over really fast to get to the second page on the back, okay? So Mi Chamocha, it was a handout that I gave you. Yes, so the handout, yes, Mi Chamocha. Mi Chamocha is Hebrew, and Mi means who. Who is like you? It's talking about God, right? It's a song of praise to God. When did we as a people sing this song for the first time? These words come right, the Hebrew words come right out of the Bible. When do we sing this song? We just left Egypt. We're on our way to the promised land. And something is not good. What happens? The Pharaoh changes his mind, right? He sends his army after the children of Israel. And at this time, the Pharaoh's army was the most powerful army on the face of the earth. So the children of Israel, they turn around and they see Pharaoh's army coming. What's in front of them?
Sea.
The sea. God parts the sea. And as the Torah says, they didn't just cross on land, they crossed on dry land. And when they get to the other side, they sing this song to God, Mi Chamocha. It's our great song of redemption. This is a beautiful, beautiful interpretation of it. And it reminds us that no one is free until everyone is free. So it's the tune is different, but I hope you like it. Diane's going to help me.
Mi Chamocha
Be'eli Adonai, Mi Chamocha Nehedar B'Kodesh, Norah Tehilot, Norah Tehilot, Oseh. Now the English. And the river is wide, and the river is deep, and the river is standing between you and me, and freedom, freedom, but we shall overcome one day. That's the Hebrew. Mi Chamocha Be'elim Adonai, Mi Chamocha Nehedar B'Kodesh, Norah Tehilot, Norah Tehilot, Oseh. Bottom of the page in English. The river is fear, and the river is hate, and the river is standing between us and the gates of freedom, freedom, but we shall overcome one day. Turn the page. Mi Chamocha Be'elim Adonai, Mi Chamocha Nehedar B'Kodesh, Norah Tehilot, Norah Tehilot, Oseh. And the river divides, and the river forgives, and the river's a wall, and the river's a bridge to freedom, freedom, and we shall overcome one day. So do you think my friend was right to drop out of rabbinical school and become a cantor and write music. I
Yeah.
think he was right. Yeah, of course, he sings a lot better than I do as well. But I think it's so beautiful what he did to this beautiful prayer.
Yes, lovely.
Really, really, really made it beautiful. Okay, thank you. That was just really, really great. So, let's continue. We're going to continue the Amidah, which takes place on page 14. But before we do that, we're going to stop and we're going to talk a little bit about Hanukkah and the dreidel. Who knows what a dreidel is? Yes, actually. So I have a picture here. We're going to talk about. Could you guys share? We're going to talk about the dreidel.
Thank you.
Sure. Okay, so there's a fun expression that I used to always hear growing up, and it was always it's Yiddish, and it was oi, schwer sein. It's tough being a Jew. Schwer, difficult, Yid, Jew, sein, to be. Of course, they didn't mean it the way I'm going to use it. I'm going to use it in a maybe a happier way, but we have Yiddish, we have Hebrew. We have a lot of stuff to keep in your mind. So this is a dreidel. Dreidel, drehen, is Yiddish for to turn or to spin. It actually it's a little kid's game now, but it has a lot of deep meaning on it. Do you see the 4 letters? Do you see the nun? Say nun with me. Nun.
Nun.
Gimel.
Gimel.
Hey.
Hey.
Shin.
Shin.
That's the 4 sides of the dreidel. It stands for Nes, Gadol, Haya, Sham. Nes is miracle. Gadol is a great miracle. In Hebrew, the adjective comes after the noun, so a great miracle, or miracle great. Haya, there, it's past tense. Haya happened. Sham, there. So a great miracle happened there. That's what it stands for. So say it with me. Nun,
Nun.
Gimel,
Gimel.
Hey,
Hey.
Shin.
Shin.
Say Nes,
Nes.
Gadol,
Gadol.
Haya,
Haya.
Sham.
Sham.
Now, if you're in Israel, there's one difference. The Shin, that means there. There's a Pei, and it means po or here. So it's really cool. I've been to Israel and I've gotten some dreidels there, and it's only to show that the last letter is different because the great miracle didn't happen there. The great miracle happened here in the land of Israel. But this is what you would see in America, right? So, how does the game work? So you have Geld. Geld is another Yiddish word for. It means money. But what do we use for today? What is it used now? It's chocolates. So they're little chocolates, but Geld means money. So everybody usually gets 10 pieces of Geld, or whatever you have, right? You spin it, right? And if you spin it, so everybody has 10 pieces of Geld, and there's 10 pieces in the middle, like in the, what do you call that? Like in the pot or something, right? 10 in the middle. You spin it, and if you get a nun, now we've gone from Hebrew, now we're going over to Yiddish. It's nichts. So what does it mean, nichts?
Nothing.
You get nothing.
Yeah.
You spin, you don't get any, you don't take any. You get nichts. Now you spin again, and you get the gimel. Now it stands for ganz. Everything. You get whatever in the middle and you take it, right? So we started with 10 and there were 10 in the middle, and the first spin you get a ganz. How many do you get now? You now have 20. And then whoever is the banker has to put some more in, right? The banker puts more in. Now you spin, you get hay. Hay is Yiddish for hetzi, half. You take half of whatever is in the kitty. And then, this is the one you don't want to get.
Shin.
You spin it and you get shin, and it stands for sim. You have to put half of your geld back into the middle.
Wow.
You play it, and you play it, you play it. So my kids really liked playing this game. My guess is we'll end up playing it. We used to play on the floor. Dad's not getting on the floor. So the kids may be on the floor, but Dad's not getting on the floor. So I just want to give you a little idea about the dreidel song. It actually has very, very deep significance and meaning that we don't really think about too much anymore, but it really came out as a way because the Jews, after the destruction of the temple, they were forbidden to study the Torah, and it was a way that they could play this game, and the Romans loved to play this game as well, the ironies of history, and they were actually had all kinds of each letter stood for something back into the Torah, and so the Romans are playing with it as well, even though it was forbidden to have like a secret meaning, right? There's something called the Yiddish Kopf. Like the Jews have a good, are known for like having a good brain. We find a way forward no matter what. We always find a way to make light. So there's a dreidel song that I thought we would sing. Everybody have the dreidel song? It's kind of a kid's song, but it's a really deep part of Jewish culture. So usually if you go to a Jewish person's house, you're going to see the Hanukkah on the table. You'll see some dreidels around it, and you'll see geld all around it. And you spin it, like play a couple turns with a purge just to be kind of fun.
And geld is?
Geld is Yiddish for money.
Okay.
But it's actually, we don't use money anymore. We use chocolate that has like, it looks like money. It's like silver or gold stuff on top of it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And every once in a while, I have to throw it all away because you can only keep it for so long, right? And start up. But this is a dreidel song that you'll hear. It's a cultural song. It doesn't have a lot of say deep mystical meaning, but still it's a part of our culture.
You know, if I had thought about it, my son might have some dreidels. I could have brought some.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have plenty of space.
Right. Well, let's think about that as we sing the song. I am a little dreidel, I made it out of clay, and when it's dry and ready, the dreidel I shall play. Oh, dreidel, 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 I made it out of clay. Oh, dreidel, 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 then dreidel I shall play. It has a lovely body with legs so short and thin, and when it gets all tired, it drops and then I win. Oh, dreidel, 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 with legs so short and thin. Oh, dreidel, 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 it drops and then I win. So, what do you want it to drop on if you want to win? Do you remember which one is the best? The nun is nichts, nothing. The hey is chetzi, you only get half. The shin is you got to put some in.
Uh-oh.
So which one do you want? Do you want the
Gimel.
You want the gimel for
Yeah.
ganz, like the is there
Yeah.
is it English or is it just Yiddish? The ganze Megillah, is that English? No, it's just okay. So. I grew up in a home where we spoke German, Hungarian, Yiddish, and some English.
Oh, how wonderful.
I didn't know till I got married that certain words were not English. I would say popo and something, and she goes, "What is that?" I'm like, "You don't know popo?"
Funny.
Okay.
Too wonderful, really.
Slaves, the police.
No, popo is tuchis. I would say, "Put your popo down." She goes, "What is popo?" It's Yiddish. Yeah. Okay, so.
Where are we?
Well, we're going to start page 14. We're going to go back to the Amidah. And I want to tell you the story about Hanukkah. What's the difference between a Hanukkah and a menorah? Sometimes people will say menorah, and it's okay if they do. I would never want to correct them. But this is not a menorah. A menorah has 7, right? Has 7 candles, one for each day of the week. That you're going to see in all synagogues and all during the year. But at Hanukkah, how many do you see here?
8.
Is there 8 or?
Oh, well, no, it's
4
fine.
and
There's
4.
actually 9, but you're right. It's 8. There's 8 nights of 8 nights of Hanukkah, and the one that's always a little bit off. This is a little higher. Sometimes it can be down here, right? That's called the shamash. It's the helper candle. It's the one we use to light the other candles. Shamash means helper. So there'll be one helper candle, and you use it to light the other candles. You would never take a Hanukkah candle and light another one. It'd be like, don't do that, because each candle represents
Unique.
light and holy and beauty. So we have a helper candle. Why are there 8?
There's 8 nights.
There's 8 nights. Why are there 8 nights? So,
Because the oil lasted for 8 days.
yes.
That's
So,
thing.
this is a great Jewish story. It's not in our Bible. We have to thank the Christians, the Catholics, for keeping this story for us and giving it back to us. Because in the Catholic Bible, you have the Hebrew Bible, the Old Testament, and then I shouldn't be talking now, then you have the New Testament. Between it, what do you have? You have books, that are, what do they call it? I forget. The Apocrypha, yes. It's the first Maccabees and the second Maccabees are contained I know they're in the Catholic Bible for sure. And it's the story of a small group of people, Judah the Maccabee, Judah the Hammer, who is able to throw the Syrians, very, very powerful army, out of Jerusalem, out of the temple. And they had brought in a false god to the temple. They were sacrificing pigs on the temple. They were able to get rid of all of them and to rededicate. Hanukkah means rededicate. To rededicate the temple. But they only had 1 day's worth of oil to relight the menorah in the temple. But the 1 day of oil lasted 8 days. And that's why we celebrate Hanukkah for 8 days. And that's why we eat anything you can think of that's deep fried. Oil, oil, oil. What are things that we eat on Hanukkah?
Potato pancakes.
Potato pancakes, latkes. What else?
Latkes,
Yeah.
Latkes.
Yes.
Yes, donuts, sufganiot. Matter of fact, we're gonna have some tonight, sufganiot. So that's the celebration of the historical event. But for us today, it means it's a period of bringing light into the world and of rededicating ourselves. Whatever that means for you. Rededicate yourself to be a kinder person. Rededicate yourself to do whatever you can do to make the world a little bit better. That's the meaning of Hanukkah. So stand with me, page 14 for the Amidah. If you only do want to stand, you don't have to. Adonai, sefatai tiftach, ufi yagi tehilatecha. O Lord, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'konei Hachod, V'zocher Hasdei Avot v'Imahot, מביא גולה לפני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה, page 15. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן. ברכת אדוני, מגן אברהם, ופוקד שרה. You can be seated. So before we do our prayer for healing and prayer in memory of those who are no longer with us in this plane, I want to sing the traditional Hanukkah song. It's on page 2. It's right after Mi Chamocha. It's Ma Oz Tzur. It's Rock of Ages. It's on the handout that I gave you. Ma Oz Tzur. Yeah, right there. Ma Oz Tzur Yeshuati. How many of you know this song from when you were growing up? Yes? Yeah, you had to sing it every night before you light the candles, right? This is what we would sing. Of course, we're going to sing it in Hebrew, and then we'll sing it in English. When I was growing up, we sang it in Hebrew, then we sang it in German, then we sang it in Hungarian.
Oh, gracious, not wonderful.
But we won't do that tonight. We'll just do the English. Okay.
I'd like to hear it.
Okay. It's a kind of a tricky tune, but I think it's tricky. You have to help me. Ma'oz tzur Yeshuati Lechanae Leshabeach Tikon Beit Tefilati B'sham Toda Nezaveach Ve'etachin matbeach Mitzar hamnabeach Az egmor b'shir mizmor Chanukat hamizbeach Az egmor b'shir mizmor Chanukat hamizbeach. Now English. Rock ages crown this praise. Light and songs to you we raise. Our will you strengthen to fight for our redemption. Our will you strengthen to fight for our redemption. We celebrate with hymn and praise. Festive candles to you we raise. We celebrate with hymn and praise. Festive candles to you we raise. Oh, beautiful. So, if you find yourself in a Jewish home this Hanukkah, you'll know what the Hanukkah is, right? You won't call it a menorah, because the menorah has how many candles? 7. But the Hanukkah has? 8 plus the shamish, right? And you'll know why we celebrate it for 8 days. Why? Yes, the miracle of the oil was supposed to last for 1 day. It lasted for 8. And if there's a dreidel, you're going to spin it, right? And you're going to hope to get what letter? Yes, Gimel for Geld, Gimel for Gans, Gimel for all of it. Okay, excellent. And you'll know this song, because this song will be sung for sure.
Why? I don't remember saying seven, why are there 7?
Oh, only that's a regular menorah. So
Really?
there's 7 days of the week, and so there was a menorah that was in the temple, and the part of the jobs of the Levites was to keep it burning, the eternal light. Remember the Ner Tamid at the synagogue when you were growing up, the eternal light that hung above the ark, probably. Yeah. So there's the eternal light that hung above the ark that was from the temple. Probably somewhere I would think you probably had a menorah as well, like 7. If you look at the symbol on the state of Israel, it's a menorah, 7 candles. This is just, it's a Hanukkah. You have it, it's just yet. So there's 7, right?
Yeah.
And this one has 8. That's the only difference. I'm just being a little kind of picky. I mean, if someone says to me, do you have a menorah, I would never correct them. But the proper word is Hanukkah, because it is for Hanukkah.
I never called it that.
Yeah, no, it's a good question. Okay, we're going to turn to page 16. The beautiful healing prayer, the Mishaberach. So we'll take a moment, recenter ourselves, to think about those people in your life that are in need of healing of the body, healing of the mind, healing of the spirit. I know Christmas is a wonderful time, Hanukkah is a wonderful time, but it's also sometimes difficult for people. They may have lost somebody, or people in the hospital. So just presence them in your mind. Judaism, I'm sure Christianity also teaches that if you focus on the person, ask God to heal them, that energy flows to God and flows back down to the other person. So let's sing the beautiful prayer of healing, the Mishaberach. Mishaberach Avotenu Mekor HaBracha Leimotenu. May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mishaberach Imotenu Mekor HaBracha Le'avotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of held in the arms of the Shekhinah, of the divine presence of the Holy One. And we say together, Amen. Let's continue with the Aleinu on page 18. Again, only if you're able, please rise. The Aleinu reminds us as we begin to close the service that if we want a better world and we're praying for a better world, we have to do our part to make a better world, right? We're in partnership with God. The Aleinu. It's upon Aleinu literally means it's upon us. Oh, also listen for that word again. Where's that word unity? What's the word for unity in Hebrew? Echad. It'll be at the end. It's usually at the end. It'll be toward the end. עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים בפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. Page 19. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד אחד ושמו אחד. The last line that we just sang together is on that day, we will all know that everyone is
One.
Echad. And when you do that, we will re-enter Gan Eden. We will return to the Garden of Eden. That's what we just sang. Beautiful, thank you. So, it's that time in the service, please be seated, where we remember those who are no longer with us on the physical plane. And Judaism teaches us that as long as the person is in our memory, a part of that person will always be alive and with us. And as we focus on their name, focus on the goodness and something we can learn from their lives, and how maybe even yet tonight or this week, this holiday season, we could do something in their memory, something to make the world just a little bit better place. Just be saying something kind to somebody. It's the mourner's Kaddish. So either say the names of those people you'd like to include in our mourner's Kaddish. You can say it out loud into our Kala here, into our community, or you can keep it in your heart. And if it's your tradition to stand, stand. If not, please stay seated. And I will read the mourner's Kaddish. Yit Gadal v'yit Kadash Shemei Rabba. Amen. Be'amad divrach yote v'amlich malchute v'chayechon v'yomechon v'chedekol Beit Yisrael v'agalal v'zman kariv v'imru. Amen. Yehei Shema Rabba mevarach me'al amei amaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ah v'yitchoman v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yithalei v'yithalal Shemei dehudesha brichu ve'ela min kol birchata v'shirchata tush bechata v'nechemata da min ran be'alma v'imru. Amen. Yehei Shlama Rabba min Shemaya v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Oseh shalom b'mromam, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. We say Amen. So tonight we have a little special because it's Hanukkah. First, join with me for the kiddush, the sanctification of Shabbat with wine. It says right on here, Borei Pari Hagafen, who created the fruit of the vine. It represents everything that's good in life. And on Shabbat, the mystics tell us that we get an extra soul so that we can experience all of the beauty of Shabbat with twice the gusto. So Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei pari hagafen. And we say, L'chaim, which means
To
to life. Choose life. And Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. So on Hanukkah, we eat fried food. So there's only one rule. All these donuts have to be gone by the time I cut them. Oh my gosh, I'll take that in a second. I'm sorry. So please take more than one donut.
I'll start this way.
Why do we eat fried food on Hanukkah?
Because of the oil.
Because of the oil.
Thank you.
Oh, is it?
Yes, yes, because anything oil.
Oil to
Yes,
celebrate.
so we're celebrating the oil.
Oh, how kind.
Please take like lots.
Lots. Lovely, thank you so much.
You gotta take a couple. Take some for your wife.
I don't know how this grape juice in this donut's gonna taste, but
I'll go back if you want.
there you go. That's
Good
what we
enough?
need.
No. Okay.
You got the one I like, I see.
Which one is this?
The
Chocolate? Oh, good for you.
Chocolate.
Thank you. Take the whole one if you wanted.
I was.
Okay, okay, okay. There you go. You got it. Okay. Use the pass. Coming around again here in a second, so that I pick up the candle.
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, that's okay. Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
Knocked over the candle.
Did you break it?
No, I didn't. I don't think I did. At least I didn't drop the Torah scroll, because if you drop the Torah scroll, you know what you have to do?
Fast.
You have to fast.
How many days?
Well, 7,
Great.
but you can eat at sundown. But you know, we always find ways to help out. So you can get like a friend to do it for one day, and you can do it for one day.
I didn't think it was 40.
No, 7. Yeah. So I've only seen it one time. Someone, you know, they do the Hagbah, where you pick it up after it's been read on Shabbat. You turn around so everybody can see it, and it was really wobbly because all of the weight was in the left hand, and it ripped. But it ripped on the seam. Oh yeah. The person felt horrible, but it happens, right? It happens.
Life.